Welcome back to This is Private Practice. I've just done that thing that everyone hates where I've welcomed you back. But here we are again on a Monday afternoon. It is lovely to see you. Thank you for your graciousness. I wasn't very well on Friday. Some of you picked that up, and thank you for your concern and your messages. I did my best to push through, and it wasn't a push through kind of day. So I met with a client around midday, came home, looked at my husband and went, I'm going to bed. And seriously, I went to bed for about 4 hours on Friday afternoon. Best thing I could have done. Got me thinking about, though, why I found it necessary to push through and go and see this. This is a client that I've actually struggled with for some time, and it's got me really rethinking my own positioning and the type of work that I want to do. And that's kind of okay. We think about that a lot, don't we? And it changes over time. Have you noticed that, if you do an ideal client exercise 1 year, in 6 months time or 12 months time or 5 years time, you might find that that ideal client is no longer serving you. I think I've come to that point with this particular client group. And I was pretty challenged because he's not an easy person to work with. There's features about how he presents that I find a little off-putting. And I knew we weren't going to need to meet for very long because he can't cope with very long. And it just felt like it was a lot of output for me with not a lot of reward. And the reward for me ended up pushing myself to beyond reasonable limits for myself. So it just got me thinking why I continue to do that, why I continue to sacrifice myself in that way. One of them was I did not want to have to rearrange the appointment. I really did not want to do that. And the second thing was the idea of what he had to go through. He's not independent in transport. He struggles with memory and cognition and social skills anyway. So for me to actually cancel that appointment felt like it was going to be a heck of a lot more work than actually keeping it and just dealing with it. But at what effect to myself? And then over the weekend, I had the great opportunity to read an article that Melissa Hall had shared with us about why we're experiencing some difficulty with open rates and automation of emails, and why people aren't engaging the way they used to online, and how our online behavior has been changing for quite some time. If you go back over my blog posts or my recordings or any of my podcasts, I've been talking about this for what feels like forever. I have been noticing the way that people consume information and want to deal with information really is changing. I know I'm one of them. Don't send me another email. So I'm very, very cautious about the emails that I send out and what's going on. But one of the things that this article that Melissa sent through and highlighted for me was how remiss most of us are at looking at the foundations in our business that support all of the work that we do that goes into acquiring new clients, so our marketing and sales. And it was really interesting for me because I've got quite a lot of clients at the moment who are needing to what I call consolidate. So they've gone through this growth period where they've got a lot of clients and they're serving a lot of clients, but they really need to get their systems and processes to a point where they're backing themselves up. Because what I've noticed in my own business, in anybody that will let me look at their business, is that we reach a capacity, a ceiling. John Maxwell talks about the ceiling as the leader in your business. And when our capacity is full, we will actually start to lose clients. Our marketing will stop working until we actually start to resource ourselves. Most of us jump into this myth of the hustle. I've just got to go and hustle more. I just got to sell more. I just need to create a new program, or I just need to go and launch a new thing, or I just need more clients. I need more clients. I need more clients. Who knows that the hustle is ugly? Anyone else find the hustle exhausting? Anyone else find the hustle disrespectful and undignified? I just think the hustle causes more problems. And I actually think that we've been burned by all the hustlers out there. I don't like the hustle. It's a big difference between having a conversation with someone and hustling them. To me, hustle feels like a hassle or a harassment. So if we look at what we've got in our business that has taken us to the point where we can go and market and sell, So we've invested in our own education. We've invested in our own discipline. We've invested in usually some collateral. We've usually got some sort of profile somewhere online. We've probably got some print material or a business card offline. We've started to build some resources that help us with our marketing efforts. That's great. I love feeling like I have got a new client. That excites me. But what I don't love is when I've got so many new clients, I can't actually service the clients I've currently got. And I see this happening time and time again, where there is so much time and effort spent on the front end of the client acquisition that we forget about the delivery. We start to say things like, oh, they were just annoying, I needed them to drop off. Or we were no longer a good fit. Now, those things might be true, but if you find yourself saying those things over and over again, I want to challenge you. You might need to look at the supports around you that are helping you with the execution of your work. So I started jotting down a guide or a bit of a list on all the resources that we need to manage on a day-to-day basis. Now, we're all going to think of money. We're all thinking of the money. Money is a given. We need to manage the money. Cash comes in, cash comes out. We want more cash coming in than we want going out. That's just good business. We've also got time. Now, I don't care what you think. You have the same amount of time as I do, and I have the same amount of time as Nicola does or my son does. It just, how I think about time is often different and unhelpful, especially when I feel like I haven't got enough time. We have energy. Energy, I think I've been writing about energy a lot this afternoon. So if my thoughts are scrambled, it's because I've been working really hard cognitively for about 4 hours. I've been writing a lot about energy and a lot about how energy is at an all-time premium. We have such high expectations of ourselves and what we can do with the energy that we have, that we are not fueling ourselves well. We're not learning how to recover and replenish well, and we just expect ourselves to keep going and on and on and on and on. Priscilla, thank you so much. I was watching all the numbers fall off, the people watching, and I'm going, oh, awesome. People don't want to hear this again. Yay. So we've got time, we've got energy. We also have people. And my people mean the world to me. If there's things not working with my people, then I feel ugly about that. I feel really like it gnaws at me. And I need my people. I need my people to know that they're cared for. I need my people to know that I've got their back. And I will often put them first before myself, except last week when I made sure I worked on my report, which is now 4 weeks overdue. Just saying. Okay. So we have people, and they might not be staff. That you might have somebody that helps with your accounting or your bookkeeping or your legal things, or it might be your husband who cooks you dinner or somebody who picks your clothes up from the dry cleaner. We all have people in our world, and we have people resources. That doesn't mean that we use them. We have to, nobody wants to feel used, but we need to be mindful of how we're managing our people resources. We also have systems and processes. And I know for myself, systems and processes is not something I love. In fact, I do not think in a very systematized way. I think in a messy way, and I'm really good at taking a lot of information and bringing it to a core theme and then making that core theme make sense in a variety of applications. It's my gift. It's the thing I'm good at. But give me an A and ask me to get through the letters of the alphabet to a Z, and I seriously, I freak. I just go, I have no clue how to do that. What really goes through my head is I'm going to get it wrong. So that's what goes on. But we have processes and systems that we need in our business. So your intake information, your client confidentiality information, what happens when you bring a client on board, what happens when a client leaves you, what happens when a marketing contact reaches out to you, what happens when a marketing contact isn't responding to your phone calls anymore, what happens when there's a new piece of software upgrading in your system. Don't ignore those. Which leads me on to another resource that we have, which is our technology. Now, most of us would not be able to do the work we do without technology anymore. So we really need to grow up and appreciate that technology is important. So all of these things need to be worked on, and we need them to become client-centric or people centric. It's no good having the time silo and the energy silo and the money silo and the people silo. We've got to work out a way that all of these things are integrated to allow service provision to occur. See, one of the things that makes us unique as health professionals is where we are in the business of service. We are not in the business of administration. So I've got a whole example around really poor customer service that I am not quite finished working through, where I got treated like a number, I got treated like a process, I got treated like I didn't know what I was doing, which I really didn't. But the people at the other end had no clue on how to think like a customer or a client needing services in this particular instance. And it just got me thinking how often we over magnify process to get a task completed at the expense of a customer experience or a client experience. So we've got all of this stuff that we need to be thinking through, and we've got all of these people in our world helping us think through it. So I really want to talk into this week because I think it's a big issue, and I think it's an ugly issue, and it's not a sexy topic, but if we don't get this right and if we don't give this time and attention, we are going to do boom bust, boom bust, boom bust exhaustion. I know because that was my life and I have watched it, and there are people who are no longer in business that I've been quite close to in the past because they didn't apprehend this behavior. So I want you to take stock of the systems and processes that are in your business. You will get quickly overwhelmed by this. So how about you just pick one part of your business or one piece of technology or one thing you'd like to refine? And why don't we have a discussion about how you want to refine it? I'm going to talk into my bookkeeping changes this week, my practice management software. I'm going to talk into other processes that I know need uncovering. I think it's really important. This is some of the ugliness of building a private practice that doesn't get talked about. Alrighty, there you go. Hard love on a Monday. So what's in store for you this week? I have a Purple Co wine o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so I don't know if I'm going to be available at this time. So we will see how that goes, because there are some people in my team who don't want to have a Facebook presence, so they would prefer not for me to not include them in a Facebook Live. And that's okay. I will respect that of them, despite the fact that I go, but I want to share you with everybody. But it is a brand new week. Thank you, Kate. One thing for you, Priscilla, is refining your accounting part of the business. You detest numbers. I get it. I so get it, until you learn how they set you free. And I will definitely be having fun at my wine o'clock tomorrow. I'm looking forward to getting my team together. It's a bit of a sad day because we're saying goodbye to somebody, but you know what? She's been with me for 10 years. I think she's allowed to move on. Pretty cool stuff. All right, if I'm not around tomorrow, we'll be back on my Wednesday, which if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that'll be your Tuesday. I've got my list of things we're going to talk into this week, but bring your questions to me. Make sure you're letting me know what you would like me to be talking into. Oh, Kate, you're auditing this week. Kate, my heart goes out to you. You are awesome that you have taken that on. I think an audit is a brilliant idea, and I cannot believe that you would do that to yourself, but go you. We are sending you all the goodness. All righty, I have been talking for quite some time now, so I will be gone, and I look forward to speaking to you later this week.